Hi friends, it's Miss Jill. I'm sure lots of you have seen me around here on many of our Facebook videos. I was going live almost every Wednesday afternoon from March through May showing you how to do something different. I've done a couple of story times and things like that as well. I work primarily at the Erlanger location, so if you ever visit us there, it is a very high possibility that you've seen me around, especially coming to any story times or kids programs, because that's what I do most often. And tonight, I am going to show you how to make some mason jar ice cream at home. Super simple. You don't even need that many ingredients. A lot of the stuff you probably already have at home in your pantry. So what you'll need is a mason jar. Here's a couple examples that I pre-made because I had to test it out first to make sure it worked. I didn't want to serve you guys bad ice cream. A half pint size is what the recipe is for. You could always double it and make more and put it in a larger jar. You will then just probably need to freeze it a little bit longer. So you need a half pint mason jar, or really jar of your choice. Anything glass with a lid will probably work, a recycled anything, jelly jar, pickle jar, what have you. Just make sure you've washed it out first. You will need a liquid measuring cup of sorts, or if you're very brave, just a regular one. And you will need a 1 teaspoon and a 1/4 teaspoon. You will need sugar, just plain old sugar, little bit of salt, just regular table salt, vanilla, and heavy whipping cream. This is the thing that you may not have at home, maybe not vanilla either, so you might need to go out and get this. You can also add in mix-ins. I will tell you how to make chocolate ice cream, but you can get creative. You could add just chocolate chips or add mint or different flavors. Play around with it. It could be a lot of fun. But let's get started today. And I just realized I don't have an empty mason jar, so I'm gonna pause this and be right back. Okay, and I'm back with my empty mason jar. How would I have made ice cream without it? So what you're going to do is take your mason jar. This one I know has been cleaned out already, so make sure it's clean. You don't want any dirty stuff hanging out in your ice cream. Then what's the point? What we're gonna do is we're going to take our heavy whipping cream, and we need half of a cup of this. These instructions will be on the video. If for some reason they're not when it's uploaded tonight, I will be in the morning and I will double check our Facebook page. If for some reason the recipe is not listed, I will definitely be sure to add that into the description. So here I have my half cup of cream, heavy whipping cream. We're gonna just pour that in, nice and in there. So pour it into my mason jar. We're gonna set that off to the side in case it drips. We need 2 teaspoons of sugar. So here I have my teaspoon. I'm just going straight into the bag. We want them pretty nice and even. If I can get a hold of it here. So 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1 and 2. Set that off to the side. We need a 1/4 teaspoon, here that's 1/4 of vanilla. You can get real fancy and have the real vanilla extract. That's what Miss Jill keeps in her pantry for the most part when she bakes at home. But here we have the imitation stuff, and I did my taste test, and you know what? Tastes just fine. Tastes just like regular vanilla. So we've got that added in. Put the lid back on that. We just need a pinch of salt, so not very much at all. I'm just gonna pour a little bit here in my hand. That's way too much. And then I'm just taking a little pinch of it, sticking it in there, and we're just gonna dump that off over here. So that was my salt, pinch of salt. So far we've had 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream, 2 teaspoons of sugar, a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a pinch of salt. Now, if you want to make chocolate ice cream, this is where you would add in chocolate. I need to look at my notes. I think it's, let me see, yes, a teaspoon of unsweetened cocoa powder. So this is what Miss Jill used for hers. There's lots of different brands out there. Get whatever you want, but it's just a whole teaspoon. So 1 teaspoon, like we put the sugar in, but just one of them, of unsweetened cocoa. Like I said, you could add in mint or let's think here. You could add mint, crushed like Oreos for cookies and cream. Try strawberry, really whatever flavor you want. Try and get crazy with it if you want to. Worst case scenario, it's not going to taste very good, but you can also just go classic with the vanilla and then add your own toppings to it later. So we now are going to put on our lid, and this is where the fun comes in. Make sure it's on good and tight, because now we are going to shake this for 3 whole minutes. So you will also want a timer, and you want to really, really shake it. You don't just this and then do it. You gotta, you could turn it into a dance party, do whatever you want. Miss Jill is gonna sit here and talk to you for 3 whole minutes so I can show you what the consistency should look like. If you have little ones at home, mom and dad who are doing this, you might need to help them out some, just because you really need to make sure it gets all mixed in. Now, whenever I did my tester of the chocolate, a good way to know if I was getting it really mixed up was I put all my dry ingredients in first when I tested it, and I could see cocoa powder still on the bottom, and that's how I knew I needed to really shake it up a little bit more. So we're gonna keep going with this. Now, like I said, you could double this recipe, you could triple it, you could really do however much you want with it. You'll just need to freeze it for a little bit longer, and it's probably gonna be a little bit harder to shake. So I would advise only doubling it personally, but you can live your best life. See if it works. It might. Maybe you are super, super strong and you know that you're gonna get it all like shook up correctly, because this is where we're getting it all mixed in. We're whipping up that cream a little bit to make the creamy consistency of the ice cream. But we just want to make sure it's all mixed in. Now, there are a variety of ways you can make ice cream at home. I have done ice cream in a bag before here at the library, so you can look up fun recipes for that. It's something that we might do later on this summer here live on our Facebook page or as a pre-recorded video, much like this one. Fortunately, we still can't do programs in the library. We all miss you so much, but we will still be going virtually live and doing pre-recorded stuff really until we can see you back in the building again. And we're going to continue doing this stuff into the future anyways, just because it's a really easy way for us to spend time with all of you, because we know it can be hard sometimes to make it into the library. You know, we're all busy, so maybe you can't make it to story time because you have something else going on, but then you can watch it at home with your little one and still enjoy it just like you would here in the library. If you are new to any of these events, we have a whole section. You can go to our videos, and we do different things every single day of the week. There's stuff for kids of all ages, stuff for adults, stuff for teens, stuff for families, lots of cool stuff like making our ice cream. We do story times, we've done trivia, we've shown you how to make different crafts, lots and lots of different things. You can check out our Facebook event page for that. It's also all on our website at KentonLibrary.org. If you just hit on the little event tab, it'll show you what all we've got going on for that particular month. So right now you can see what all we've got going on in July. We will be doing something every Sunday night at 7 o'clock in July and I believe August for school-age kids or the families. Things like mason jar ice cream, and I think Miss Lauren just did a pizza party, making pizza at home cook-a-book. So super fun things like that. So be sure to check us out. All right, my friends, we're gonna get a couple more really, really, really good shakes. And I've been timing you on my phone. I can see how long I've been recording. So it's been just a little over 3 minutes. We're gonna test the consistency. Now it said it should be runny. It shouldn't be thick and churned like butter or anything. We don't want it whipped up like whipped cream. But it should be when you put a wooden spoon in there. I didn't have a wooden spoon, so I grabbed a popsicle stick. It should drip off, but stick to it as well, just like that. So it's a nice kind of frothy, almost like a milkshake consistency. It already tastes good, tastes kind of like a milkshake. And we now are going to put our lid back on nice and tight. And then you're just gonna pop this entire container into the freezer. You need to leave it in there for, the recipe says at least 3 hours. You can do it longer than that. I made these last week well, from recording, so it would have been a long time ago by the time you watch this. But I made these less than a week ago, but they have kept good. I've even eaten, I taste tested it last week, one day too. It tasted really yummy and it has kept up. So even if you don't eat it all in one sitting, you can save it for a while and it'll just be nice and frozen. Now I did realize, let's see how, I've had this out of the freezer now for a while. It's going to be very, very frozen when you first take it out of the freezer. So much so, there we go, that if you take it out of the jar, you want to let it sit for a while because I broke off a couple of my plastic spoons that I was using for it. So this is nice and easy to get into. It's probably been out now for maybe about 20 minutes and it's still very frozen. It's a pretty nice consistency. So that's the hardest part of mason jar ice cream is you get it all ready and then you wait at least 3 hours. After 3 hours, it may not be as frozen as Miss Jill's, so it might be ready to eat. But otherwise, then you might have to set it out and then wait a little bit longer before it's ready. Maybe you have like a longer tub where you could scoop it out like regular ice cream. That would probably work a little bit better. And I only had plastic spoons here at the library, so I did do plastic. A regular spoon isn't going to break, but you could bend a metal one at home. So you want to be sure to watch out for that. All right, my friends. I hope that you all make this at home. I'll make sure that the recipe is posted. Let me know how it turns out. Let me know if you use any fun mix-ins and how those work out too. I can't wait to hear and hope you all enjoy some very own ice cream at home. Bye, friends.